Okay, it's time for me to give you some more of my nuggets of wisdom. It's early in the morning. It's about 5:42. I've had some time to think about what I want to say, and that's just it. I just go with the flow. I don't usually plan what I'm going to say. Whatever I'm feeling in the morning is what I say. So here it comes. I've heard people say that they wish they could put curtains on the windows in their house. Have you ever heard that? I've even heard people say that they do everything they can to avoid the mirrors. They don't want to look at themselves. Now that's some serious self-hate. Some incredibly low self-esteem issues. And a big load of assurance problems. While I will admit, some people spend entirely too much time looking at themselves. But you know what? They're the people who are conceited, stuck on themselves, and they wish that the mirror was a window that they could open to the world so that the world could see them in all of their excellence and glory and perfection. Because God knows they're full of it. Perfection, I mean. But really, people have to learn how to love themselves. You have to learn how to love yourself. Because you know why? You can't learn how to love people. You can't learn how to love anybody until you learn how to love yourself. This may sound stupid. This may sound vain. This may sound so anti-Bible and anti-Jesus. But quite honestly, one of the commands that it gave was that we should love our neighbor as we love ourselves. Now, how can you love your neighbor, he was saying, if you don't love yourself? A lot of people look at it as saying we need to love our neighbor. We need to give our neighbor more than we give ourselves. But really and truly, I think he was trying to make a point. And he was trying to tell us that we needed to learn how to love ourselves and realize that it's okay to love yourselves. He meant for us to do that. I talk to people all of the time who want love, need love, beg for love, cry out for love, kick and scream for love, beg, plead. Oh, they want it so bad they can't stand themselves. All they want is a little affection, some acceptance, and just plain old appreciation. But the more they cry for it, the more they throw fits, the more they look like the lunatic loon who lost their marbles and are bleeding bananas all over the place. The less respect and the less love and appreciation they get. They are labeled as the crazy person who's always whining and crying for love. It's important for parents to love their children. Why? Well, because the early childhood development stage of a youngster's life is when they get the most education about love, sharing, manners, acceptance, appreciation. If a child is denied that, then I can promise you they will grow up hating who they are because they were never given the love they needed. And they will always feel hated, rejected. And either they will be angry with the world and stiff as a board, void of all feelings and the ability to hug, or they'll become a whiny crybaby who can't cope with life and is always crying and complaining and trying to get attention in the only way they know how, and that's by throwing a fit. I once knew a boy in his late teens who tried to burn a school down. He was trying to get attention. He figured he'd get it by burning the school down, and he did. He felt like he didn't matter. His mother died when he was an infant. His father was in prison. The people who took care of him didn't really care about him. They treated him badly. They abused him. They sent him out to sell drugs for him. And he thought, since he was treated like a freak and a criminal, he may as well act like one. He wanted attention. He wanted somebody to care enough about him to show him that, well, that he was there. When I was a child, I was one of many, and not exactly the favorite. And I had to deal with a lot of issues. I grew up hating myself because I figured everybody else hates me. Everybody who really matters doesn't like me. So I needed to follow suit and hate myself. But what did that do? I mean, really, it just dug a hole for me. Depressed me, made me feel bad, and totally unloved and unlovable. And in the end, I didn't care what. I didn't give a bean about me because I was not important enough. I didn't believe anybody when they said they loved me because I was taught to believe loving me, oh, impossible. I used to be one of the people who avoided mirrors. I had nothing against mirrors. It was just a piece of glass. I just didn't like the person that it showed me. In the beginning of my self-love experience, my self-love education, I was told to look at myself in the mirror. I thought the doctor who told me this was a whack job. I mean, really, what a wacky thing to tell somebody to do. It just proved that he was whacked. But he insisted, and soon I got up the nerve to look at myself. But he wanted me to tell myself that I loved me. Now that was going too far. I thought this man is a total loon. He deserves to be put into a loony bin himself. I mean, really? Wants me to tell myself that I love me? How can I tell myself that I love me? I can't do it. And I couldn't. It took me years to finally be able to do it. It took me years to finally be able to look myself in the face and say, I like you. Came out as like first, but that was the beginning. And then I started to learn how to love me. All alone in the bathroom, ain't nobody there, nobody listening, nobody with a camera on, no camera crew, no lights, no microphone, just me. And I couldn't say the words, I love you. What's wrong with that? That's some serious stuff. I mean, really? You can't say you love you? Some people have trouble saying I love you, period. They can't say they love anybody because they weren't taught to love. What do you see when you look in the mirror? At one time I saw trouble. I saw misery. I saw a girl who had to be the ugliest thing on the planet because she was always told she was ugly. Now let me stop right here for a minute and talk about adjectives. Adjectives are used to describe people. Parents, you need to be careful what you tell your kids. I thought I was ugly my entire life. Why? Because my mother was always telling me that I was ugly. She'd say things like, why do you need to be so ugly? You just so ugly. That's all. That's what your problem is. You ugly. Maybe if you weren't so ugly, then maybe people would like you like they like your sister. Those words haunted me. They didn't just come out, go into my ears and out the other ear. No, 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 no. They went into my ears, down into my heart, and then found a place in my soul. And they stayed with me. And they defeated my spirit and made me feel like I was exactly what she said I was. Ugly. Another word she was very fond of using was stupid. She'd say things like, "Oh, you are so stupid. Why you gotta be so stupid?" Well, that just proves how stupid you are. Adjectives describe not us, but how a person sees us, interprets us. And in the long run, if they are coming from a parent, they can do a lot of damage. Hello? Parents, loved ones, we're supposed to nurture the people around us. We're supposed to hold them up, lift them up, help them out. Not put them down, not bury them, not crush them, not defeat them, not immobilize them. That's not our job as parents. As parents, we are supposed to build up and nurture. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Words are powerful. So watch what you say. But in the case of the mirror, we have to learn to see ourselves the way God created us. Not everybody has great hair. But I'm happy for my hair now, honey. I ain't complaining about nothing. I'm just happy it's there. Because at one time it was gone. They don't always have perfect teeth. They don't always have eyes the color of emeralds. And a dainty little nose that a lot of people call cute. But if you look long enough, if you watch for the right thing, you'll begin to realize the person staring back at you, who they are, really. What they look like might be okay. And you might not hate or despise who you're looking at. A good thing to do is to talk to the people who love you. Now, I'm not talking about your sister, the one that is mean to you your whole life, or your brother who's jealous because you played marbles better than him. I'm talking about the safe people. The ones who love you and respect you. The ones who lift you up and encourage you. The ones who hold you up in high esteem. Those are people I'm talking about. Go to them and ask them, why do you do that? Why do you love me? I don't get it. And then let them explain it to you. The answers may surprise you. In fact, they may astound you. Then, when you look in the mirror, look for that. If they tell you you have a great personality, well then look for it. Do I really have a great personality? You might find it. If they tell you you have beautiful eyes, you might find that. If they tell you that you have good skin, maybe you'll see it. If they tell you that you are an encourager, that you are always there, that you motivate people to be the best that they can be, that you are loving and caring, then maybe you'll start to see that. And then pretty soon, when you look into the mirror, you won't be seeing the person that your mama said you were, or the person that your brother, sister, whoever said you were. You'll start seeing the person who you really are.